I saw this video, a build from Auroth claiming that we have the strongest Barbarian ever. So, chat, you guys know how OP Crusader and Necromancer are because of a certain mechanic that explodes the dots. And I guess, like, well, I'm just gonna let you guys see what we have here. So, we have Barbarian. It is the strongest than ever. This challenge dungeon build will blow your mind. So, we have here our boy Auroth. Let's see what he is cooking.
Hello guys, this is Auroth and a warm welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna highlight a super strong Barbarian build. And
Holy moly!
The game has been a little bit stale lately, but finally we received some new essences. And I have to say that the Barbarian essences looks very dope. So I switched to Barbarian immediately, and I've been quite lucky and have been able to find all the essences that I want. And in this video, I'm gonna showcase a very strong challenge dungeon build for Barbarians.
Yes, Whirlwind.
I'm gonna show you my favorite version. And I'm also gonna show you some different types of alterations that you can do. Maybe you need a little bit more survivability.
All right.
Maybe you need a little bit more sustained
We're
damage.
strong enough.
I'm gonna show you which alterations you can do. But my favorite version is this one. And before I'm showing you the build, I want to talk about a specific essence.
It's gonna show Lion's Mane.
So
It's the essence that blows up everything.
One of my main hands.
I'll tell you. I told you that is gonna be the one.
That is called Lion's Mane. And this is a very old essence. And what it says is that Demoralize now also detonates the wounds of nearby enemies, immediately resolving any continual damage effects. And if you have watched this channel before, you have seen me highlight several builds on other classes.
It's like Auroth right now. It's going on this class world tour that if he finds a class that it can blow up all the dots, this core mechanic, it is very strong. Okay, so pretty much all you do, you're just gonna expand and have as many dots as you want. You're gonna use like the 2 pieces barriers to extend the duration, and then you're gonna use a certain essence on your class that hopefully is gonna have that it needs to say that immediately resolving any continual damage effect. So until now we had the Demoralize, but the problem with the Demoralize was it had like some high cooldown and we couldn't spam it. But I guess like he just found a way like with a new essence to actually go and make it work. I'm just gonna skip around because like it's a 30 minutes video. We're not gonna watch everything.
It's really been a very
Let me see what is
way
the other
to
essence.
utilize this mechanic as a Barbarian. But with this new patch, we have this helmet now that is called Whirling Howl. And
Alright.
what it says is that Demoralize now empowers your steps with wind, causing your movement to emit blasts every few.
So you have a buff with you. So if you have a buff with you, now you're gonna be able to trigger all the time?
Yards the damage nearby enemies. And if we go here to the skill page and we now click on Demoralize, we can see that previously if we used Demoralize, it was a one-time effect with a cooldown.
Yeah.
But now when you use Demoralize, it will be like a buff.
Yeah.
That will be up 100% of the time, which means that you can over and over again deal damage with Demoralize, and this will help us to resolve dots. And this is what we're gonna build around in this challenge dungeon.
Okay, so we have a buff that it is the Demoralize that pretty much is gonna work all the time. When it comes to the skills, it's using the Frenzy. I mean, he probably is not gonna use a lot of like the primary attack, right? Frenzy is not like that a big deal. Demoralize, Whirlwind, Wrath of the Berserk, and the Sprint. Okay, like these are pretty much like staples. Like I'm just like admire here, like with the Whirlwind. But I guess what he's gonna try to do, if I have to guess, like he's gonna use like a lot of AOE abilities, but maybe he wouldn't even need like the Whirlwind. I kind of have to go and check it out. For the set items,
piece of Vitus Urge, and the reason for this is because we want to prolong all the beneficial effects by 30%.
All right.
This ensures that we have 100% uptime on the Demoralize, which is very important for this build. And it also prolongs some legendary gem effects, which is also very important. So any buff.
Then he has what? 2 pieces Barbarian.
This video.
And then he's gonna use augments. Yes. So it's like It's literally like I'm telling you guys. He's going and using the exact same type of concept that he used for the Necromancer, that he used first for Crusader, and it is working. I mean, like this, if you build it this way, it really pops up. Let me see Essence and the Essence.
Game changer for the Barbarian, because you will see later in the dungeon runs that if you build it correctly using the set. But anyways, what's so good is that this will trigger more often the faster you move. So if I use sprint, I can trigger it even more often.
And if you become bigger, it's gonna be
size with Wrath of the Berserker, it will also trigger even more often.
I wish like it will trigger even faster though.
So this is a game changer for the Barbarian, because you will see later in the dungeon runs that if you build it correctly using the correct setup, you can deal tons of damage. And
so he's using so you can whirlwind all the time. We're gonna just keep around. For the chess piece, he's using the whirlwind damage now increased 90%. For each bleed up to a maximum of 57%. Okay. I don't know about this one, but maybe like there's not a lot of choices of good chests for this one. He's using the Ox Horns. This one is gonna apply every time that you hit the enemy for 3 times, gonna apply a bleed. And remember that we are the way we're building this is like we're trying to put as many dots as possible, so then we demoralize and instant procs the duration of the dot, and it creates like a big bada boom. Then we have the Snowdrifter, probably because he doesn't have a lot of choices. This is gonna chill. He's not gonna add a lot of things. The fallow field is gonna allow you to pretty much just consume your own life, and you can whirlwind all the time. Okay, and this is like the new offhand. When Demoralize hits an enemy and your attack and movement speed, it is increased up to a maximum of almost 30%, and also it gives you like a 10% on your demoralized cooldown reduction. Okay, this is awesome, man. We're definitely gonna try this build, man. Like these 100%, we're gonna do it.
The Rolling Consequence, and also some of my other legendary gems that we will take a look at soon. And of course, we will take a look at this build also in a dungeon in the end of this video.
All right, that's what I want to see.
Actually, so you can see it in action, and that it performs very, very well. In the last slot, there is the Spirit of the Ancients for a short time that repeatedly casts Chained Spear, damaging, slowing, and pulling in nearby enemies.
Okay, the chains.
So this will also help you to apply loss of control.
I think like maybe going with the chains instead of the whirlwind can also be a thing, because then you have like the chains and you have the chest piece and also the pants, so we can also try like these variants.
Silly, and that deals quite a lot of damage.
All right, so moving on, legendary gems obviously is completely stacked. Then we have here we already have this one, okay, Bloodsoaked Jade, Rolling Consequence, Bottle Hope, and it is pretty much the same setup, but because it doesn't have loss of control, it removed the chipped, so it's using the Sweeping Bile, Morn Skull, and so man, I really need a Misery Elixir, man, to make like these builds do even more damage. Like Misery Elixir pretty much is gonna increase the duration for 24% of your dots. Then you have the Barons, which are gonna extend even more 30%, and it becomes extremely good. So then we have the Paragon, what is going? Oh, he's going with the top. So if you guys are seeing here, he's going like with the top row for all the continuous damage. Okay, then let's see these in action. I want to see Namari, because Namari is like the one that usually is like pretty cracked. So we're gonna see how much damage this actually does. I think, chat, like if you guys remember the Crusader build and all these other builds, this is a build that usually they don't perform like that well when it comes to single target damage, but they just obliterate everything along the way. Okay, let's see. How much damage? Put that damage meter.
Namari, and I thought I wanted to show this because
if you're a whale,
if you remember, I'm around
26,000. What? Chat.
I wanted to show this because
What? 26 million, not 1,000, 26 million damage.
Remember, I
That's crazy.
around 6,000 resonance with this setup. And
Must
here is a
feel
guy
good
with
to be
a
a
lot
whale,
high
chat.
resonance. I just want to show you that I will probably double his damage here anyways. And if I would lower...
So the thing that you guys have to understand is like, Auroth not only is a whale, but it is a whale that really knows the game and knows how to optimize things, okay? Because even if you are a whale and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to build your character, probably even a free-to-play is gonna out-damage you. But whenever you know what you're doing as a whale, you're gonna start pulling up numbers like this.
Lower my resonance to 2k and run against these people.
I want to
will
see
still
like the
deal
single target
most
damage.
And that's because every detail of the build is...
I mean, one thing that is feels very comfortable, feels very comfy, because you just buff up and then you will win,
perfected.
Right?
And to be honest, now after switching to Inferno 5, I've been pivoting a little bit more towards PvP in my setup, so I don't have as many damage done to
PvP.
enemies suffering
Auroth.
loss of control fixes. And this is far from optimal. So if I would spend some time to try to min-max some more stats, I would perform even better in these dungeons.
Okay, I want to see the boss.
Here we are at the final stage of Namari.
I mean, on the boss,
I think that
it's still
these
decent.
2 dungeon runs has been a great way to...
Like, the thing is, like, I love always when I see these, but I want to see on my character, you know? I want to see how much damage I do, because, like, at the end of the day, that's what it matters, right? That's what we're gonna do.
Enjoy it as well.
So we had here a banger of a build for Barbarian. If you guys still didn't watch, I'm gonna link this in the channel. Auroth, it is an awesome content creator. He always comes up like with the different builds that in 100% you guys should try it, and I am sure that I'm gonna try